In this video, I will show you how to match the following vocabulary words to the graphs below. And there will be multiple answers for each of your graphs. So the first two words here are linear and nonlinear, which should be kind of self-explanatory here. So linear would be a straight line, and linear would be anything other than a straight line. And then function versus not a function. To be a function, no x values can repeat. And how you would check that visually would be called your vertical line test. So we'll check for that. Then the difference between discrete and continuous would be discrete would be more like a set of points on a graph, so kind of like number 10. And continuous would be more of a graph where you would see a line or a drawing where you could draw it without lifting your pencil. And then the type of shape that you have, a U shape versus a V shape. And then the last two here, increasing or decreasing. And so we'll talk about labeling these pictures. So for number 8, I'm going to just start from linear or nonlinear. This is definitely nonlinear, so I'm going to put letter B. Is it a function or not a function? If I were to draw a vertical line through my picture, a vertical line would pass through only once, and so that would mean that this is a function, so I'm going to put letter C. Discrete versus continuous for this picture, because you could draw it without lifting your pencil and there are no breaks, it would be continuous, so letter F. And then U shape versus a V shape, this is definitely a U shape, so I'm going to go with the letter G. And now increasing or decreasing might seem a little confusing, but I don't want to confuse you. The two parts of these graphs, even though the arrows point down, it means that they're going to keep going down. But how you label increasing or decreasing is from left to right. So this half of the graph, this half is actually going up as it goes to the right. And then opposite, this half of the graph is actually going down as it goes to the right. So this graph both increases and decreases. So it would be neither of those two choices because it technically does both. It goes up as it goes to the right and down as it goes to the right. You never read a graph to the left. You read it like a book from left to right. And even though this arrow points down, it means that this function keeps going. But from the left towards the right, this is going up. And then opposite, that side's going down. So I can't put those because it technically does both. So this function definitely increases, so I'm going to put letter I because as it goes to the right, it is continuously increasing going up to the right. So now I'll jump back here and I'll label this as linear because that's definitely a straight line. So A. Function or not a function, if I were to draw a vertical line through, it would pass the test, vertical line test, because it touches only one time, so letter C. And then discrete or continuous, we can draw this without lifting our pencils, so this would be continuous. And it is neither a U shape or a V shape, it is just a straight line, so I will skip those two categories because neither of those apply, and then I will, again, note that that function is increasing. Now I have two more graphs here, and then we have a couple other scenarios, but for my two other graphs, I have a set of points here that are going down as they go to the right, but they do make a linear pattern. So I'm going to choose option A because definitely they make a linear pattern. And if I were to draw a vertical line through my function, it would pass the vertical line test because it crosses through only one time. So I'm going to pick choice C for function. Discrete or continuous, this picture is discrete because it's a set of points, which would be letter E. And then U shape or V shape, neither of those apply because this is a straight line. I can put a ruler to it, so neither of those options is correct. And then increasing or decreasing, my function is going down as it goes to the right, so that would be letter J, decreasing. And then I have one more picture over here, number 10, linear or nonlinear. This is not linear because I cannot put a ruler to that. Function or not a function, a vertical line would pass through this one time only, so this is a function, so I'm going to put letter C. For discrete or continuous, my graph is definitely continuous because I can draw that without lifting my pencil, and there are no breaks in the graph. Now U shape or V shape, this is kind of a curve. It's not a U shape like this and it's not a V, so I'm going to pick neither. And then increasing or decreasing, as my function goes to the right, it is going up, so I would also list letter I because my function is increasing. Now I have two more scenarios down here at the bottom. You are making several batches of cookies called B for a friend's birthday party, and every batch of cookies requires 3 eggs to make. So my batch of cookies requires 3 eggs. So if I were to draw this, you could think of it as y equals mx plus b. This would be y equals 3x plus nothing, which is definitely a linear equation. So I'm going to go with A. It would be a function because a straight line will pass the function test. Discrete or continuous, this equation, because I'm talking about actual eggs, would make most sense to be discrete, which is a set of points, meaning the points like 3 eggs, 1 batch, 6 eggs, 2 batches, 9 eggs, 3 batches. And so like, I don't know how else to break up eggs except for a whole egg or not an egg. And so like, it wouldn't make sense to have a line because I wouldn't be talking about like 2.5 eggs. Like that wouldn't really make sense. And so it would be more like this, a set of points. So that's why I'm gonna pick E. And then as we are making more batches of cookies, I'm gonna need more eggs. So I would also class this as increasing, so letter I. Now the next one here is a set of points, 0 to 0, 1 to 1, 2 to 2, 3 to 9. If you notice what's happening is we're taking our value times itself. So this is y equals, oops, I didn't put the letter y, I put the letter x. Silly mistake. Let me fix that. Y is equal to this value times itself or squared. This would be not linear. It would be a parabola shape if you were to graph your points. And this would be also a function because no x values are repeating. It is a set of points, which would be discrete, so letter E. And then the shape of it, well, since I'm only using these points, I'm not using the actual function y equals x squared. I'm not going to pick U shape or V shape yet because it's only part of the graph based on the information I'm given. It's only this section here. So that's all I know. And then increasing or decreasing, it is increasing, so I'm going to pick letter I.